let's get to it. So let's talk about if you want to see what a country looks like after the United States launches a coup to overthrow a government, look no further than Pakistan. Perfect example of Pakistan, a government the United States wants to control at any cost, a former prime minister that it fears more than anybody in Imran Khan. These are just some of the images over the past 48 hours as the country descended into chaos, protests, burning government buildings, taking to the streets, burning a lot of government vehicles, going after members of parliament's, members of the government's houses. People taking to the streets saying down with this government for arresting the former prime minister on trumped up corruption charges that really no one believes other than the opposition party. A country that sits on the verge of civil war. And even though Imran Khan was ousted following an American and UK backed coup after Khan refused sanctions against Russia, the Biden administration, of course, didn't like that. The Biden administration absolutely wants to control this country. So you get a coup. That's exactly what happens when things don't go the United States and UK's way. Oh, they're going to start really aligning themselves with Russia? They're not going to push sanctions on Russia? Coup. You get a coup. Overnight, dozens of protesters were killed by the military as thousands of people took to the streets after this illegal arrest. Here was the moment that Imran Khan was arrested while he was sitting in a courtroom. We've got new video of this that just came in this afternoon. They smashing the windows, beating him up, dragging him outside, and then marching him down the street. But look at Khan just sort of sitting at the table. He's just like this. Watch this. Imagine. He's like, there I am in sunglasses. You coming for me? You coming for me? Unbelievable. I spoke to a number of sources in Pakistan this afternoon who were terrified. Conditions were deteriorating quickly. One source I spoke to lives in a small community outside of the major city, said conditions were really bad. And here's one woman in Pakistan taking to the streets, and she was yelling for the release of Imran Khan and showing her son, saying that if you guys say that Imran Khan is a terrorist, then I bring you my sons and show you that I guess we're also all terrorists because we support Imran Khan. Look at my boys. Then we're all terrorists, she says. She also is asking for the former Prime Minister Nawaz to come out and face the people. Listen to what she says. Look at my boy. Then he's a terrorist. Then he's a terrorist. Then he's a terrorist.
That little boy's like, oh, what are we doing?
Yeah, come out and face us. Come out and face us. Like, all right, Mom. All right, Mom,
is that coming out?
Is that Mom, what are we doing today?
I know. She pulls him in front of the camera. He's like, great, what are you doing? And then she starts screaming and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be fun. So
the head of the PMLN, which is the party which is backed by the United States and the UK governments, they're fed up with these people. And of course, the protest destroying government buildings, saying enough is enough. Let Imran out of prison right now. And just a few hours ago, we did get stunning news out of Pakistan that the Pakistani Supreme Court said Imran Khan's arrest was illegal, which was a stunning moment. In fact, it was interesting to hear reports in the courtroom at the Supreme Court when he walked in. According to witnesses, the judge said, "Good to see you," which is not something that judges ever say. to
Sure.
good to see you.
To defendants.
And all he said was, we want peace. And that's what he and his argument was, I've been in custody. I haven't seen what's been happening to the country. No one's been able to talk to me. No one's come to see me. I've been locked up for 48 hours. I want peace. I want our protests to be peaceful. And the judge says, good to see you. And now he must be freed immediately, freed and let out, that this was an illegal arrest. And this is a clear response to the protests, because the protests are saying, we're done. We're absolutely done. We are going to destroy more government buildings. We've had it with this corrupt government. The government has been destroying this country for a long time now. We are sick of it. So cheers broke out all over Pakistan. Here was the moment when Khan was let out of the Supreme Court. You can go ahead and roll it. I think it's just what's shooting the video. So here he is coming down the hallway here in the back. He's in blue in the back, and he's under police custody. So he's freed. Freed is a different definition, I guess, for you and me. So he's freed, but into police custody. So police taking him into custody, even though he's freed. So the important thing is he won't spend the night in prison. But
what he had warned in a video that went viral between Monday and Tuesday was that there had been an attempt on his life, he said, and they are trying to arrest me to keep me from campaigning because elections are coming up in October and he's favored to win. So he's been warning that they were after me. And I guess he was not wrong.
Well, and of course, he believes it's the opposition party. And of course, the opposition party, which is backed by the United States and the UK. So the opposition party, of course, the PMLN, backed by the United States, backed by the British government. He believes, and a lot of the PTI party believed that was who was going to carry out the assassination attempt. They thought, the thing is, people remember Benazir Bhutto. So Benazir Bhutto, who would have become prime minister, assassinated, shot. There's a history of this, of course. So you go into custody and then you're suddenly killed or hanged. As is the case. And that was, of course, the fear among supporters that was about to happen in this situation. So he gets out. He's leaving prison. Sources are telling me that this is a huge relief. My sources in Pakistan have been telling me this is a huge relief, that they are applauding this release. One source told me that he will become the next prime minister when they hold elections, that this, in fact, has solidified the popularity of Imran Khan.
Oh, that sounds a little familiar.
Yeah, like you arrest this guy. I mean, does this sound familiar at all? Like you arrest this guy, and then now this solidifies.
And then you rile up his base.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That they will hold elections. This will solidify his standing with the people in many ways, making him more powerful. This is Pakistani journalist Shifa Yousafzai outside the Supreme Court, showing the large police presence. So as he's being led out of the Supreme Court, here was the large police presence. And I'll sort of summarize what she's saying here. She says, these are scenes outside the Supreme Court today when Imran Khan was inside the court. A large number of police and rangers were present there, she describes them. And the court barred supporters, party leaders, from coming to the court. All three gates of the Marriott, the Serena hotels, the Margala hotels were closed. No one was allowed to enter this zone at all. The media was also barred from the Supreme Court. And there were journalists' names who were added to lists. And also, there was no foreign journalists associated with foreign news media were not allowed to enter at all. So journalists were barred from coming in here and covering this. So a lot of journalists were really angry at their lack of press coverage, that they were barred from going in there, not allowed to get any sort of video and coverage of what was happening there. And so here was the moment. So a lot of questions, right? How free is he actually? And where is he at this hour? So he's freed, but now he's in police custody, and then tomorrow he has to appear in court. Where is he tonight? And here is the moment driving away from the Supreme Court with police officers. So take a look at this. Is he still in police custody right now? It's unclear where he's going to be spending the night, and is he safe? Right, that's the question. A lot of people wondering, is this going to be another Benazir Bhutto moment? He's out now. Will he have security around him, and what will happen? After all, if he was just laying claim to an assassination attempt just a short time ago, it's a country in turmoil, but a country that's happy. And many, of course, his supporters are happy that he's out. The opposition part. This is an interesting part of this story. The PMLN, of course, which is backed by the United States. threatened the judiciary this afternoon. So this is making the rounds on Pakistani television this afternoon. A lot of people shocked that the information minister, Maryam Aurangzeb, threatened the judges who freed Imran Khan. Aurangzeb. It's hard for me to say. Maryam Aurangzeb is the information minister, basically saying that if judges go against Imran Khan, his protesters will come to their houses and destroy their houses too, because a number of government buildings have been destroyed and government, members of the PMLN party had their houses destroyed in this. So judges, you better put him back in prison or the protesters are going to come to your house and you're next, basically threatening the judges in Pakistani television.
And pretending that the protesters are protesting for his arrest? No, but she's saying like, hey, these guys are nuts. Like these PTI, his supporters are crazy, basically calling him a terrorist. Basically, these people are terrorists is what she's saying. So you better put him back in prison. Does this sound familiar at all? I don't understand that.
Okay. What don't you understand?
Because obviously they're protesting for his release and they got their way. So why would they then punish a judge that gave them their way?
This is the opposition.
This is the opposition.
Right. So how is she saying that these people who got their way are then going to retaliate? Right. It doesn't make sense. It's a stupid argument is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
I believe you, but it holds no water.
But here she is. So here's what she said in real quick. Just play this part.
आप करें फैसला इसके खिलाफ किसी का घर नहीं बचेगा.
Yeah, that basically, that these people, that he's a terrorist and, they're going to come for you. They're going to come for you next, basically. So that's the PMLN. This is far from over as the military has to decide who, where they're going to fall on this. Imran Khan has been critical of the army. This is not new. And the PMLN, of course, is backed by the United States. It's backed by the UK government. And so the international community in all of this, it's been stunning. The international community has been totally silent on this. Nothing from the United States. Nothing from the United States. Here's the White House clown, Jean-Pierre, saying it's simply a Pakistani matter. We don't care that he's been arrested. It's Pakistan for them to deal with.
What's the White House's reaction to Imran Khan's arrest in Pakistan?
So just a couple of things I'd like to say about that.
Let me just go to my notes. Let me read what I have to say here. I have a couple things I really want to say, but I don't know what they are, so I have to look them up in my little book. Hold on a second.
Not briefed on that.
As you know, we're aware of the arrest of former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. As we have said before, the United States does not have a position on one political candidate or party versus another. We call for the respect of democratic principles and the rule of law around the world. So I would refer you to the government of Pakistan for any further information on that.
Wait.
That is the most.
Yeah. Just ask Juan Guaido how we adhere to that.
Wait. We invade entire countries in the name of free and fair elections.
Yeah.
So if
I was going to say
one candidate is arrested, that's cool.
If what she said is true, this would be actually an historic moment where the U.S. has finally decided to let people decide their own fate without our influence.
Right.
Good job, everybody. Good job.
Yeah. Corinne, can I ask a follow-up question? So when you guys fomented a coup in that country where you literally wanted Imran Khan to be arrested and or probably assassinated, is that before or after you guys decided to not be involved in other countries' business anymore? Just curious, like where on the timeline that falls.
I mean, one of the major talking points of invading, Syria, Iraq, were no free and fair elections. We didn't think people were Egypt, right? Those were not free and fair elections. We need to get in there.
The reason we're at war with Russia, the United States is actively at war with Russia, so is NATO, is because we want to spread democracy, make sure that democracy stands in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. So,
but it's all good. Let them.
Ads.
Right. Yeah.
They ran some Facebook ads.
Yeah, and interfered in the election.
Well, the Pakistanis are not doing that because their internet was taken down and access to many social media sites so that they couldn't continue to continue to bolster these protests.
Christine Peach in our chat says, wow, I didn't hear about this on the morning news this morning. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, you won't hear about this at all in the Western media. you won't hear about this story at all. And you certainly won't hear about the fact that the United States and the UK were responsible for a destabilizing coup, which pulled Imran Khan from office. You won't hear any of that, of course, because that is how the imperial media runs things.
If you want to know like the U.S. stance on it, I mean, if you look at you're talking about a potential civil war breaking out in a nuclear power, which there are very few of on the planet, and like that was like page 45 of her notes when she got asked that question. You could tell she wasn't like it wasn't like right there top of mind. It was at the bottom of the pile.
Can you rerun that video? So this is and by the way, this was the first question that she was asked at the press conference yesterday. The first question. So I'm good for this reporter for having this be the very first question of the day that's getting asked here. Watch this.
What's the White House's reaction to Imran Khan's arrest in Pakistan?
So just a couple of things I'd like to say about that.
Let me go to the back of my binder because I didn't think anyone was going to ask me about Pakistan today, but I've got it here printed out.
Yeah, she's flipping like thick stacks of papers back all the way back.
As you know, we're aware of the arrest of former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. As we have said before, the United States does not have a position on one political candidate or party versus another. We call for the respect of democratic principles and the rule of law around the world. So I would refer you to the government of Pakistan for any further information on that.
That's great news. We mind our own business.
Well,
wonderful.
The back of the book is the war machine is like the tab, so it's W's. That's why it's way to the back.
Go back to the back. And I thought this was a very important story for us to lead off with tonight. Pakistan. No one else is talking about this. Our friend George Galloway, apparently the only other, and again, the mainstream media is not talking about this at all. You have to go to independent media, and good for George for covering this story. And I felt it was important for us to cover it here because the UK government doesn't think that it's important either. Rishi Sunak also on the floor of Parliament saying this about Pakistan. He's echoing it. They're on the same playbook. He must have read Jean-Pierre's notes because they're literally on the same playbook about how we handle Pakistan. We destabilize them in a coup, but when we're asked about Imran Khan's arrest, it's up to them. Listen to Rishi Sunak.
The UK, of course, has a long-standing and close relationship with Pakistan, and this weekend, especially as Commonwealth partners. The arrest of the former Prime Minister is an internal matter for Pakistan. We support peaceful, democratic processes and adherence to the rule of law, and we are monitoring the situation carefully.
Wait. He was like, they were at our party this weekend, so that's why, because they showed up as Commonwealth partners at the King's coronation.
Yeah.
Well, they're all good because they were at our party this weekend.
Right, the Prime Minister was here.
They might be burning, but they showed up for our party, so all good. They do what they want.
The puppet Prime Minister was here visiting us. The perhaps the real Prime Minister who was ousted because of our coup couldn't be here. He's in prison. But it's totally up to them. Literally reading from the same Jean-Pierre playbook. I love this. I love this tweet. In follow up to that, Rishi Sunak says, here's a tweet that says, "Oh, everything else is your problem, and you'll stick your nose into it. But a Pakistani prime minister being arrested who is against you controlling Pakistan is their internal matter." Wow. You didn't even try to hide your hypocrisy, Rishi. Yeah. So because they don't want to align with the West and the warmongering ways, and they don't want to put sanctions on Russia, that's why you fomented a coup, and that's why you're not interested in talking with them or even acknowledging the presence and what's going on in Pakistan. Thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted. We are live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, trying to share the stories that the mainstream media will not cover. You should also come over and join our community of Redacted Rebels over at redacted.inc. That's our private locals community where we can share exclusive content that we simply cannot share here on YouTube. Come over and join the rebellion together right now by going to redacted.inc. We'll see you next time.